Hello everyone and welcome to my May budget. So first of all I'm going to start off with a bit of an overview of what's going on this month. So I've got paid on the Wednesday. I'm filming this actually on the Saturday, so I don't actually have my florist appointment. I had to cancel it, unfortunately, so this was for the wedding. So I'm going to have to look at doing something else for that potentially, or just rebooking that in. And then this weekend is a bank holiday, so my sister's up with the kids. So again, eating out wise, I think we'll end up going around to my parents for a roast tomorrow, and then Monday catching up with them. And then at work, so I'm expecting that I'll be training in for the next 3 days. I work from home on Fridays. And then really, we've not got anything in for May, which worries me a little bit, but anyway. Our friends are staying over there, travelling at the minute, so they're staying around the 15th and 16th, so there's every chance we'll be going out for a meal then. My brother and his partner's wedding anniversary is coming up on the 25th. And it's also my brother's birthday on the 6th, so I've already fully funded him, so that's fine. And then we've got another bank holiday, another payday, and then this is actually my partner's half term as well. So I haven't taken any time off as yet, but potentially I might do, so I might not have those train bookings, but yeah, that's basically the general month so far. In terms of where we are with the accounts, yeah, I won't really go through them all. I think I've gone through them in the close down anyway. But yeah, basically what we have is majority of my sinking funds are all in a Monzo account, all at pretty much 4%, other than our wedding one, which is a joint account, and that's at 3.37. But I was quite chuffed because we've got like £5,000 in there at the minute. We got like £10 interest, so it all adds up, and that's like monthly, you know. And my emergency fund is currently in two places. So I've got an emergency fund in Nationwide, and I've got an emergency fund in Monzo as well. So the Nationwide one has the 6.5% and the Monzo one has the 4%. And basically what I'm doing is monthly I'm taking out ones in the Monzo and transferring it to the Nationwide, because that's got like a maximum balance you can use. But it's useful that I can then gain that 6.5% on that. So that's what I'm doing. What I have made a note to myself is I've removed my Virgin Atlantic card and sinking fund, so that is going to come out this month. And then I had a leftover of food of £108 last month, so £8 I'm keeping in the food account, and then £100 I think I'm going to move, in fact I know I'm going to move to hair, beauty and clothes. I don't think I've specifically put that in the budget, but it was more a note to myself. Cool, so going through the budget. So this month, because of I had quite a lot of backlog in expenses, so I had my IC subs paid out, my usual expenses, but I had a trip to London with work, so that included like the hotel, the food and the train ticket, and my standard expenses. My salary is actually at £3,500 this month, which is really good. It's actually £3,536.42, but for the nature of drawing up the budget I round down on my salary to the nearest hundred. Sinking funds, so I've got taken £305 out of the sinking fund credit card pot in Monzo. So all that pot is if I've bought anything on my credit card in the month, and it probably should have come out of a different pot, i.e. wedding or eating out or birthdays and gifts, for instance, but I've just put it on the card for, sometimes it's like security reasons, sometimes if it's a large payment, I just like the insurances that you get with a credit card. I take that out the sinking fund and I put it in that specific sinking fund, and I put it in a basically credit card sinking fund account, so it allows me to know how much I need to then put towards the credit card that next month. I'm also withdrawing £142 out of my Virgin Atlantic sinking fund, so basically I did have a credit card that had an annual fee, so I would monthly save up for that annual fee, but I've now cancelled that card, so I've got that £142 left, so I'm going to roll that into this budget for this month. And my emergency fund, as I mentioned before, I'm going to take that out of the sinking fund, and that's going to transfer into my Nationwide account. So what I do is I put £200 into my Nationwide account, and then so 150 comes from the sinking fund, and then the £50 as usual I sort of budget in. So that in total comes to £597. I get £20 from my partner to go towards the council tax, and then I had a carryover of £290. In fact, I had £293.22. So that all comes to £4,407. So in terms of this month, fixed wise, it's not too different from last month. My council tax has gone up, so that's now £158. My mobile has gone up, so that's now £14, but everything else is pretty much the same. My partner pays for the electric and gas and the internet and TV. He also pays for Spotify and Netflix, so that's why they're nil on mine. Nationwide, so like I said, I transferred £200, so I'm essentially paying out £50 to go into the emergency fund, £50 in investment, and then GOSH, so Great Ormond Street Hospital, Labour Party, and then my direct debits, minimum payments on my debts, which is Virgin Blue, Tesco and Virgin Pink. This will change as of next month, so I'm getting rid of my Virgin Pink, and that's going to go to an MBNA card because I've had to do a different transfer, but I think I'm going to do a separate video on that and go through all my debts as well, and just a bit of a tot up of where I'm up to. Virgin Atlantic this month, I've budgeted £470, that's going to get paid out on the 2nd. Joint account, budget 300, that gets 300 pretty much every month. Eating out 200, hobbies and entertainment 60, birthdays and gifts, so these are like general gifts, so this will be where I pay out for like my brother's anniversary card or something for him and his partner. Home improvements getting 90, so I'm going to budget £40 for the challenges, and then £50 is just going directly in. So I'm going to budget 90, but it could be up and down for that. Hair, beauty and clothes, I'm going to budget 100, and then I'm also going to put that £100 in from last month into this one as well. I think I mentioned in my previous video, I think I'm going to do it to buy my wedding band because I've already bought one, but it needs some adjustments, so I'm going to use that to fund that. So in total that comes to £1,240, and that leaves left over £1,737. Then sinking funds, electronics is getting a little bit more this month, so usually I budget £40, it's going to get £60 this month. Emergency fund extra overpayment, so similar to home, I'm giving this a booster, so usually I put in £20 a week into it, whereas I'm going to top it up another £120, so it's going to be roughly £200 in this month. Debt is getting a weird one, so that's going to get a split this month, so I think £70 is going to Tesco 2 and £60 is going to Virgin Blue. Basically I'm at the end of paying off my Tesco 2, so there's a less amount on it, but I'm just eking it out to the end of its balance transfer period where it's 0%, so I'm now starting to pay money off on my Virgin Blue. Home improvement is going to get 60, or I've budgeted 60. Again, this one has a this one has a challenge linked to it, so we'll see what it gets. Holiday is getting 40, health is 20, odds and evens budgeted 40. Future, I've actually budgeted £450 this month just because I had a few more expenses coming in. We've got quite a few wedding expenses coming up. Christmas is budgeted 90, and birthdays, family, again, my sister's is coming up, my mum's is coming up, and the twins are coming up, so in June, so really I've only got this month to try and get those up, so that's £90. Excuse me. So general annual is going to get £27 as usual. I've upped this, so I was paying £27, I'm putting £30 a month now into the water bill. IC subs, so because of the way my expenses come out, work have paid me for my IC subs for this year, so I'm going to use that money, put it into a pot ready for next year, and this pot's at 4%, so it's just going to stay in there with what's already in there, and I'm not going to touch it, and it's just going to accrue its interest every month. But at least that's ready for, because I think it's actually due to pay out in January, so that can just tick away. So this will go to zero next month. And Virgin Atlantic, I've withdrawn all the money from there and I don't need to pay it anymore, so that goes to zero. So that comes to £287, which leaves £270 left over. And in terms of credit card expenses this month, it should be about £160 on train, £100 for fuel, and then £11 for my Cat Cup subscription. So that comes to £271. So it's roughly £270 to carry over next month to pay off the credit card is sort of how I work my budget. It also means that if I do have any additional expenses this month, it comes out of this 270, and then I can obviously work out in next month's budget how to pay for that £271. And that is the budget for for May. Where's the time gone? So that is it. So I'm going to, and just for your guys' benefit, what I do is I then split it into the 4 weeks for my challenges. So you can see here, home budgeted £90. So I've said I'm going to do £10 a week for the challenges, and then just put a £50 placeholder in. Home maintenance, so I roll a challenge with this. So again, it gets it £60. So I've got 15 each week. Holiday, £10 a week. Birthdays, I've just split the 90. Similar with the future, so I know I'm putting in 450, so I'm just trying to work out how much I do each week. So yeah, just out of interest. And then what I do is I get the placeholders ready to do the cash stuffing. And again, emergency fund is going to get an additional £120 placeholder this week, as well as its challenges. Yeah, and that is it for the week. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will catch up with you in the cash stuffing. Bye.